Hey there, welcome back to the virtual table. We're getting ready to start the encounter. And also, um, I, I don't know, like some people get confused with how to find the next video because I don't, link one video to the next. I make playlists and then everything's just in the playlist and they're in the exact order. So if you start at the top of the playlist and it'll just go through in order. This is under a new playlist called Oathsworn Playthrough 2. So I have two Oathsworn playlists, one with the original campaign that I'm playing on my table, and then this one. So, in order to do an encounter in this one, you just come over here and you hit the plus minus sign. We're on encounter 1, and you just click that button just one time, and then everything just bam appears. And of course, our cur fell over, and so here's our blade. I have my dagger, and you have my blade, and you have my staff, and my shield. Alright, so here's our four wannabe heroes. And so when they set up the encounter, they do a wonderful job of keeping this hidden. Now, of course, we unlocked it, so we can flip it over, and we've played this already, so we already know all the secrets this thing's going to do to us. I'm assuming this is shuffled for us. Otherwise, this is going to be a real big problem because we have to break it apart and reassemble it. So this is actually I'm actually going to shuffle it myself because I don't know. So we'll go ahead and do that, and then we'll make this the discard pile over here. Technically, the cards are supposed to go here. That's the stage deck, and then the discards go here. And if we move our heroes out of the way, we can make room for it. And technically, so they have this for the cards. Technically, this is supposed to sit down here if you look at it properly, but it can sit there just fine. This table's a lot bigger than mine. And then the first card, of course, is flipped over. And so they're going to encourage, which is, of course, going to make the little dudes angrier. And look at this. How awesome is this? They show you where you can place. And the trees are probably in the right spot, because orienting these trees so they take the proper 3 hexes was a pain in the butt. I can tell you I didn't like it. The little animation of the tiny rats, even though they look like dogs, it's still very cool. They're oriented a little weird. I think they should all be oriented this way, but technically it matters, especially for the cur, because the cur has cards that will do bonuses if you're behind them. Okay, so let's place our people. I don't know who is good at what, so we'll put the Warden right up front. We're going to put the Witch off to the side. And I concur. See what I did there? And the Blade will go right here. Alright. So fight. Begin. Okay, so what do we do during our turn? I think there are player aids somewhere. Okay, so our cards got a little screwed up because of the spawning of all this stuff, so I'll just put this up there. The player aids. Not that we need them. This is one of the few games where the player aids are not that necessary. But it would be nice to point to the player aid just to show you what comes next. They seem to be missing. I don't see them anywhere. No player aids. That's fine. This is the encounter book. Just to help you out. Chapter 1, of course, that's how you set it up. There's these mystery boxes. That's what my actual physical copy looks like. And then of course this is showing you where everybody goes, and you can see they're not there. This is the orientation. So like this guy is supposed to be facing that way. This one's facing down, and that one's facing towards the tree. So they got the orientation wrong over here. They're facing the exact opposite way of what they're supposed to. That one is facing that way. This is facing towards the tree. And this one's facing straight down. And I do like when you highlight it, it shows that you can't step on those tiles. Okay. Again, looking for player aid. Oh, that's a tree. Don't want one of those. Alright, no player aid to be had. This should be... This is gonna not be good. It's like books, like the Chinese version of all these books. Alright, so... we take the storybook and we go all the way to the end. This is the back of the book. Very nice to look at. Here's the different phases of the game that's on the player aid right here. And so we're going to do the refresh phase, then the Oathsworn phase, etc. Nice little glossary of all the different tokens. This is good. It's quite good. Anyways, you have that to look at. And then, of course, we have the, that's the actual encounter book. There should be an encounter rules book. This is the encounter book. That's a story rule book. Oh, where did the encounter rule book go? Yeah, see, that's all just Chinese rules. Over and over again. So let's put those back. There is an encounter rulebook that tells you like how the minions move, and maybe that's the part that's missing, because you know like how they leave stuff missing from the game, so you have to know how to play, or otherwise you know, you're not allowed to use the tabletop, and that's fine. We have our own rulebook we can use, and yeah. The only thing about the rulebook that's nice is that there's some nice reference things on there that we could have pointed to. So for the this campaign, we did get the unique item. We also got the special rules, and we did this. And we're in the encounter phase right now. We haven't finished it yet. I think that's what that is meant to do. We finished the story. We did not get ambushed because we finished early enough on the timer. We get this free battle flow token. So let's get that taken care of. 1, 2, 3, 4. Give one to him. 1. I need to like program like letters. So when I hit like, you know, the number 1 on my keyboard, oh my gosh, that was not a good move. I don't know where all my other tokens went. Oh, it went all the way over here. Okay, don't hit the number 1. I think number 1 closed the drawer. So that was a very bad move. Pressing 1. But like if I had like a number programmed, I press 1, it takes me right to this player station. I wonder if there's a way I can do that. You know, well, here, let me save the game first. So, YouTube, screw up. So in case I screw up, I can just load the save game. Alright, so, you know like when you're playing I don't know why the games are eluding me, like StarCraft. You can say, you know, Company of Heroes. You can say, okay, Control 1 is here. See, saved camera 1. So then when I say press the 1 button, it's supposed to take me to there. Which it didn't do, of course. So we're going to just load, get everything back the way it's supposed to be. So when I did Control 1, that worked. And how about Alt 1? Okay, Alt 1 does not work. What do I have to do to... I saved the camera. What do I have to do to load the camera? I'm going to pause real quick and let's figure this out. Okay, I was so close. Alright, I figured it out. So, I'm... Minnesota Frost is Control 1, right? Control 1, save camera 1. I did Alt 1, but instead... So let's say, okay, now we're moving over here, and it's her turn. I can hit Shift 1, and bam! Oh man, that is going to save us so much time. Alright, so then we're going to make this Control 2. And flip her around. Zoom in. Control 3. Control 4. The only thing that scares me is the numbers close these drawers. And then Control 5. Control 6. Alright, so I should be able to go 1, 2, look at that, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes! Victory! Alright. So, now I gotta remember which one's which. Who's which number. So, she's 1. I believe the blade is 2. And then 3, and then 4. That's the only part I gotta remember now. So, let's go to 2. And let's see if we can start the game off with him. I am not familiar with any of these skills, because we chose 4 brand new characters. But let's, so obviously the blade needs to do some movement. The battle stances. You gotta look at the cards in the cooldown position, and if they're, whichever one has the most cards. If they are in the 0, you get to pick any stance. If they're in the 1, you have to choose Boar stance. 2 is Viper, and 3 is Ox. So where the cards are in the battle flow matters. And it says which cooldown position has the most cards. If 2 or more tied, you can choose between them. Stances are determined before an ability is played. So the stances even change. So like if you play 3 cards on your turn, the 3 cards will could have different stances based on, you know, the cards that you play. Okay, so we're going to regen 6, and bam, I just hit that number, and 6 come over. How awesome is that? So we're going to go to 1, regen, 3, and then 4. Wow, it's so cool. Alright, and then we come back. Alright, since we're tied on all of them, the very first card we play can be any stance we like. So this one is a nice move too, but just so you know, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spaces before we can even attack this thing. A move 2 is not nearly enough. If in snake stance you move through an occupied hex, you can move. This is always good when you need to move, because that was the problem with the Penitent, is the Penitent needed a move card. Here, move 3 in a straight line. If you move adjacent to an enemy, you must stop moving. If in Boar, you add 2 damage. Also good, but we gotta move more spaces than that. Move exactly 2. If you did not have to stop due to a hex being occupied, you may then charge through 4. Attack once and apply it to all targets. Gain a redraw on the attack if your boar stance. That sounds like an excellent start to the game. Alright, so we're going to play this card right here, and it's going to go... Oops. Always remember to change your color to black so you can see everything. So this is in the 3 spot, and it's going to cost 4. So 1, 2, 3. Oops. 1. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. What does this do? Same thing. Okay. Alright, if I click over here, the gem comes over. It just steals from one and gives to the other. So I just want to make sure I'm familiar with the stuff. Okay, so we got to move 2 in a straight line. If you did not have to stop due to a hex being occupied, you may then charge 4. So he's going to move 2, and then he can charge 1, 2, 3, 4. What happens if you charge and you don't go completely through an enemy? I don't remember. 1 second, I'm going to look that up. Okay, so when you're doing a charge, you move 1, 2, 3, 4, which then becomes a push. Actually, it's letting me go onto that spot, although that spot belongs to the rat. The actual miniature partially covers all these spaces. So the only thing I charge through, you attack everybody you charge through. So I only charge through the rat. And then what happens is since I'm a single hex character, I get pushed, which just means I get, I pop out one of these other hexes. And remember the northwest, there's a northwest rule. So you're always going to get pushed north and then west. So I get pushed to right there. And I'm going to make sure he's oriented that way. Alright, so he doesn't attack from where he ends up. He's actually attacking, the charge is the attack. So he's going to hit the rat on the right side of the rat, because the rat's facing us, so it's his right side, which is this die right here. He could also attack the front die, because that's considered the rat's front. These 3 are the front, these 2 are the flank, those 3 are the rear, and then these 2 are the flank. So, so since he charged into this space, this is both the front and the flank. So he could choose which die he wants to destroy. Now when this thing attacks, that die, see the little bite symbol underneath? If I destroy this die, then that bite symbol is called a break, and the bite symbol will cause him to do less damage. Actually, one of these dice no longer applies, the red one here. This one doesn't have a symbol. There's a tail in the back, there's a slash, and then that's the core. The core you can't get to until one of these are gone. Now, we could whittle down each die, or we could just go after one of the dice. The moment you destroy one die, the game is interrupted and the Broodmother gets a bonus attack and targets whoever destroyed the die. At the end of every... so we did the refresh phase. We're doing the Oathsworn phase right now where we all take our turns. Once we're done taking our turns, the Broodmother is going to attack using this card, or will attack if we destroy a die. But it will attack again during its own phase. And then, of course, any of the keywords are defined here. And if we ever destroy 2 dice, we move to stage 2. Right now, all the cards are stage 1. And then the stage 2 cards you can see are sitting here. So, one thing to really point out is the stage 1 cards are less severe. So, there is something to be said in whittling down these dice but not destroying them in the stage 1. We didn't do that last time, but there is something to be said for it, because rushing and destroying as many of these dice as you can right away, and ushering in stage 2 and stage 3, it does amplify. So anyways, what this thing is going to do is it's going to poop new rats, and then it's going to move, and then every one of the little rats are going to have a mob attack bonus against whoever they're attacking. And they can be quite deadly. So, alright, we're attacking the Broodmother. All of our cards are shuffled. And I forget what number is he. Shift 3? Shift 4. Shift 2. Okay. So he's number 2. Alright, he gets a yellow cube, might. So he's going to get a yellow, and then it's just a regular attack from here. Charge through 4, attack once, apply to all targets. He gains a redraw if he's boar stance. And so we're going to be boar stance for this one. Because remember, they were all tied. And because I played a 3 card, he's going to move to ox stance. Because there's a card in the 3. That's how this works. But at the beginning, he's going to choose boar, so he gets a redraw, which is awesome. So he has 2 more redraws here, and then a battle flow. So what we're going to do is I think we're going to go ahead and do the cards. So he's going to draw 1 yellow, because that's what his might allows him to do. And then we're going to draw 4 whites. And if 2 of them are blank, the whole attack misses. That's the one thing, but we do get a redraw. So that's the reason why I'm doing this. And so we got a nice 3. And we did draw 2 blanks. So I'm going to discard this blank and we're going to do a redraw. And look at that. That's a crit. So I could draw more from here, but I'm going to instead roll the die for the crit. So here we go. And I rolled a blank. This blank does not count as the 2 blanks. So there's only 1 blank now. And remember, that redraw was free. I got that for being in the boar stance. So we got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It would have been nice to get 1 more. So what does that 7 mean? Well, we go to the rat. And the defense for the rat is 2. And so 7 divided by 2. It's always divided by. 7 divided by 2 is 3. So we did 3 damage to this thing. So there we go. So now we just change that to a 3. And that's it. That's that particular turn. Now he can keep going, or we can have somebody else go. He doesn't have to completely finish his turn. He does have 2 more gems left. And one of the things is you got to look to see how much gems does it cost to do something. So that's 4, that's 3. Here's a 1. It's just a move. So that doesn't really help me too much. That's a 4, which isn't very good. And then this is our 0 card. So we could use this to battle flow the card if we wanted. Or we could spend 3 gems to do another attack. Now we do have this 2, which lets me turn this into 4 gems. So if we wanted to attack again with 4 gems, we could. So we get this winnowing strike. Area of effect targets all adjacent hexes if we're in snake form. Gain a redraw on the attack. Attack once and apply to all targets. That's only if we're in snake form. So, to be in snake form, we need our cards to be in 2. Right now they're in 3. I do have this battle flow token I can play that would move this over. I also have this card here that can battle flow a card, but it costs me 1 gem. That's going to spend 4 gems if I do that one. So I would do all that because I want to get the redraw on the attack. I do attack once, it hits all targets, and you can see here that the yellow is where he is, and basically he hits all the spaces around him. So he's not next to anybody else except for the rat. Because he would hit 2 spaces for the rat, he would get +1 damage. Every extra space next, he's only ever going to attack 1 die. Um, Here he would attack the rear or the flank. So, but because he's going to hit 2 spaces on the rat, he gets +1 damage against that 1 die. If he would have hit like 4 spaces on the rat, he would have gotten +3 damage. Um, Now, if he had these little rats next to him, that's a perfect attack, and in fact, I think we want to save it just for that reason. So I don't want to do that one. Interestingly enough, I may, because he can regen 6, I may hold here. I could play this card because I'm going to get back anyways. I think I will. No. See this? This is a defensive card that helps if I'm in Ox form. And right now I'm in the Ox form. Yeah, I'm going to hold off. I might attack. I can force an attack if I spend this, but we're going to wait. Let's see what somebody else is going to do. So let's go to Shift 1. Let's see what the Witch can do. Alright, once per round, we're going to place a ice. Oh, we have to choose our cards. Obviously, everybody has their starting hand, but she has to decide fire or ice. Now, we did go with Minnesota Frost, which means that we're probably going to be choosing ice. But let's look real quick. So the 4 fire ones look like this. Incineration Wave is a big area attack, which is really good against these rats. It's going to take up 2 fires. The fires on the board, if anybody ends their turn on one of the fire tokens, they take a damage. Each of the little rats only have 1 health point, so it will kill them, but it also consumes the fire. Now, I think the first edition of this game, all they had to do was move through the fire and they took the damage. That's not the case anymore, so they really nerfed the witch. So you would draw a red, which is good, against each character in the cone. They lose 1 health if the card shows a number, automatically. If the cone covers any fire, then add +1 range to the cone for each, and the fire is removed from the board. So it would consume not only just these 2 fire, but possibly even more. Or you could just straight up use it to do a plain Jane attack. The fireball takes 3 of them and does a 7 hex attack, which is as big as the rat itself. Range 4. It's a pretty good. That's pretty good. There's no bonus damage or anything, but the fact that it's gonna put fire on 7 hexes. Strikes the first occupied hex, then places 7 hex template on that hex. Attack once and apply to all characters under the template. This one consumes 1 fire. It creates 3 fireflies to target between 1 and 3 enemies within range 4. You draw a red for each firefly attacking an enemy. The enemy loses 1 health for each blank drawn. So the fireflies do damage if you draw blanks. And they can critical. So fireflies are interesting. You actually do well with blanks on those. And then the last one is Flaming Whip. Consumes 2 fire. It's empowered ×5, which is actually quite powerful. Range 3. Then move the target 2 in a straight line in any direction. So it's almost like a pushback, but it's not, because it doesn't hurt them. +3 damage, range 2. Okay, I wanted to do the ice one, I think. Now the ice, if an enemy moves over ice, it consumes 2 movement points. So let's look at the ice. You got Chain Lightning, 3 of those bad boys. Select up to 4 targets. The same target can be hit multiple times, but not twice in succession. So you could pick the big rat, one of the little ones, and then the big rat again. The Warden can be targeted but suffers no damage, because the Warden, remember, is immune to witch spells. So you can use him as like the second one, right? You can target the big rat, then the Warden, and then the big rat again, if there's no little rats on the board. That's pretty cool. 3 of these it uses. Here it uses 1. Before damage is drawn, spend any amount of animus to select the same amount of ice within range 3. Remove the selected ice from the board to add 2 more damage to the attack for each one removed. Okay? Select an enemy that is on an ice within range 3. Draw a white. If the card shows a number, the enemy loses 1 health. If the card shows a critical, the enemy loses 3. And then remove the ice. Oh, that's a pretty risky one, but we could also do an unarmed attack. And then Ice Spike consumes 2, range 3. Target all hexes in a range 3 straight line. Attack once and apply full damage to the first. For each additional hex, ignore the highest numbered might card. Large enemies can be targeted more than once. Alright, I think I actually like the fire ones a little bit more, but because we chose Minnesota Frost, we're going to go with the... So I'm just going to put her fire cards over here, because we're not choosing those. These are the ones we're choosing. So we're going to get the 3 over there. So we got our 2 3s. Here's our 2 2s and a 1. Okay, sorry we had to do a lot of reading there, but I'm not familiar with the witch. So our biggest issue is she can put fire ice out. Since we're choosing the ice, we're probably going to want to put the ice out more than the fire within range 3. And her biggest challenge is she's way more than 3 away. So she's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spaces away from the action. So we need to get her moved a little bit. And I don't think she has any move spells. There's no movement on any of these. Those are the 4 ice. Here's... Alright, so that means she has to spend crystals to move. So we're going to spend 1, 2, 3 crystals to move her 1, 2, 3 up. So that gets her in range. She's now 3 away from the rat. She's going to use her ability here. And remember, they have to be... these tiles cannot be placed underneath characters. So I'm going to have to grab a few. I got... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm just going to grab 8 of them. And we're going to set them here. Alright, so we're going to take 1. And we're going to put it... Oh, come on. The fire's on one side and ice is on the other in the game. The physical copy. But that's not the case here. Those are the poison ones. That's the fireball. Oh, you know what? State 2. There we go. We're going to clone these. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There we go. I got 8 of these. Alright, we get to place one 3 spaces away. So I'm going to choose... here, because that's gonna these little rats are gonna come and try to attack her, and I'm more worried about the rats attacking her than the big one. So we'll place that there, and then it can expand. We can use it for future things, whatever. But that's our free action, and and we're going to want to use this every single time. And see, it says you can only consume hexes within range 3. And then I think we want to spend 2 for elemental suffusion. So we would put this in our 1 spot. And it basically says if there are no within range 3, place 1 within range 3. So we could actually put a fire out there within range 3. In fact, what we would have done is we would have done this first. And then we would have done the free action. There we go. So we're going to, this was, the free action was not done first. This one was done first for 2. And then now we're going to use our free action to place another one. That's how we're going to play this. Alright, so we come over here, and now we're going to put another one right there. So they're all within 3 spaces of her. Perfect. So we got 2 of those suckers out there. We're down to 1 crystal. As you can see, we got to spend Animus to do these other ones. We do have a 2 Animus token that we can turn this into 3, and we could maybe do something. Like a chain lightning, but see, you need 3 of them out there. For 2 of them, we could do an ice spike, but it's a straight line, and where she's standing, straight lines don't help her as much. The chain lightning does, so I think we're going to save that for the next turn. But I will spend 1 more crystal to do this, and we're going to battle flow 1 card. So that means we're going to battle flow that card. So now we got 2 of them in the 0 spot. So all that means is during the next phase, she gets these cards back. Okay, I'm happy with that. So let's go to player 3. I concur. Yes, I'm going to use that joke all the time. So he should be at 2 defense. He's already down to 5 health. He needs move cards. So let's see what he's got. This smoke bomb is an awesome defensive card. See, if targeting enemy's flank or rear, he gets empowered. Empowered is very good if this is your first time watching. Very nice. This is a really good one for breaking a die, destroying the die. Concealment is good. He's got a lot of reaction cards. If you target an enemy's rear, gain a whole bunch of damage. See? So this is a good one. This is almost like Andrew 2.0. Because Andrew had a backstab card. There's a lot of overlap. The Penitent has cards that the Priest and the Warden has. The Cur has cards that the... what do you call that? It's not called the Vanguard, but whatever that thing was that Andrew was. Throwing daggers. Also, Andrew's character had something similar to this. So, unarmed just simply means you don't use your might tokens, which he doesn't have any might tokens anyways. So, this lets him hit 2 different enemies, attack once, apply to all targets, gain one of those lethality if any enemy loses a hit point. So, a lethality token, by the way, is... let's see, it's described on page 28. There's like a... this is the part that sucks because it is on the player aid. There's a... actually, it's on his sheet. You can spend them, and then that gives you empowerment. So if you have 5 of them, you get empower times 10, which is insanity. But yeah, that's really cool. That's why I really wanted to try this character. When I first got the game and was starting, I was like, nope, this guy sucks. And then now that I've played the game and I'm looking at his skills again, I'm like, wow, this guy looks pretty cool. So we're giving him a try. So, yes, JB, I'm saying JB and cool in the same sentence. So there is a first for everything. All right. None of these are move. So that's his biggest issue. He doesn't have a lot of movement. Um, Obviously, you could spend the crystals to move, but that's painful. All right, so we'll have to spend some crystals to move. He is right here. So one, two, three, four, five gets him to the front of the Broodmother. And the thing is, he has that range attack. Let's look at his range attack real quick. The throwing daggers has a range of 3. And it has to target 2 different enemies. But if I want to... So if the Broodmother is 1, 2, 3, he can move to here. Which means he's moving 1, 2, 3. He only needs to spend 3 crystals. And then he can throw daggers. Now, it says he could throw 2, but he has to hit 2 different targets, and the Broodmother's the only target. Um, I guess you could argue that he would hit 2 different spots on the Broodmother, but that's not what it says. It says 2 different targets. I could look to see if the rules specify that I can target like the large creatures twice in that kind of situation. Let me check. That might be in the FAQ. Okay, I actually learned something. Well, first of all, you can obviously target multiple spots on a large creature, like the rat mother. However, this says 2 different enemies, so it says up to 2 different enemies. So I don't think I can target the same rat creature twice, even though there's 2 locations on the rat I could target. It's still debatable to me. But the more important thing, and the part that I missed and I really felt like I was enlightened, is if there's a thrown effect, the weapons are actually thrown out of your hand and you have to actually go pick them up. You have to mark the board and then you have to move to that location to pick up those weapons again. I mean, it doesn't cost you anything to pick them up, but they're not in your hand anymore. And the thing that's confusing me is it says unarmed, which suggests you don't have weapons in your hand anymore. Um, so I'm assuming this means that I'm actually throwing the daggers and they're not going to be in my hand. And so we'd have to lay them on the ground in front of the rat. I'm not sure how thrilled I am about that. Um, so I'm not sure I care for this card at all for that reason. Um, I may just play it as a defense card if I'm ever attacked. Although there's a lot of other defensive cards over here that we could use instead. So, if I didn't want to do that, I have to spend 2 more crystals to get up next to her. And it would be nice to destroy a die. I don't get to empower it. But if I can cause the enemy to draw a reaction card, which is what this would be, if I destroy a die, all attacks from that enemy during the reaction draw 1 less might, which is pretty good. And so, that's if I'm attacking from the flank or rear. That's the problem. I'm attacking from the front, so I'd only get to use... I'd have to use something else. Oh, what do? Do I throw my daggers and then I have to go pick them up? Well, let's look at the situation. If I throw them straight in front of me, then I can just move 2 spaces and pick them up there. I can hit the die that I need to hit. I'm going to spend... I didn't spend any of my gems, so let's fix that. I think he started here. 1, 2, 3. we're looking at spending 5 gems. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're down to 1. We can do this for 2 and then 1, so he would have 3 left to do something. So we could do the Nightshade. It's just not in the rear. And we don't get to ignore... Do I really want to destroy a die this turn? Okay, I'm going to take 2 back. We're going to throw the daggers. So I'm still where I'm supposed to be. And then way it says to do that is we got to draw one of those number tokens, which are here. And it's supposed to, I'm just going to make it number 12, right? So here's his 2 daggers laying on the ground right there. So I'm going to throw and hit the rat in the front or side. I think I'm going to choose side. It's an unarmed attack, range 3. If I can cause him to lose a health, I gain a lethality token. And I don't know where the lethality tokens are. Great question. It's something that was supposed to be in his... Oh, you know what? It's probably one of these. Here we go. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm just going to take a stack of them because they should be near him. Just like the number tokens is near him. Alright. Yes, we're throwing to hit the rat. We get no bonus, so we're just going to be doing white. This is our discard pile. And I'm going to keep the blanks. You get to always see what's in the discard pile. So we know there's 2 blanks. And so that means there's 3 more blanks in here. I think I'm going to draw 4 whites against him. Yeah, let's do it. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we got the 2 blanks. That means it's a miss. And so we're going to do a redraw. Now, we got to be careful, because when you play these tokens, if you still miss, you get all the tokens back, because it's part of a determination thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to play it over here. And yes, I'm going to discard this one, and we're going to draw another one here. And there we go. And then that's a crit. And for the crit, I'm going to roll the cube, or roll the die. And that's another crit. So we're going to roll this die. Alright, so we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 damage. And it's an unarmed attack because we threw the daggers. So I don't get the crit effect on the daggers. Like if you remember, when you critical during an attack that hits, battle flow 1 card. So we don't get to do that. But we do have to play our card, which was this one. It goes on the 1. And that cost us 1, 2, 3 gems to play. So we said 10 damage, which was excellent. So you don't have to choose which die you're attacking until you see the damage. So 10 divided by 2 is 5 hits. We can destroy that first die, but I'm actually going to hit the right flank instead of the front. So now he's down to 1. Because he's not attacking this turn. So I'm okay with letting his dice stay on. Sometimes you're in a mad rush to destroy this die. Because see that little bite marker? This particular character has a lot of cards with the bite marker on it. And you want to destroy this die because the bite marker actually hurts them. Doesn't help them. But in this case, Um, there is no bite marker on the card, so we're not in a hurry to destroy the dice. Stage 1 cards are not as damaging as the others, so we're just whittling them down. And 5 damage on that die, that's a good cur attack. Alright, the cur is out of crystals. The other nice thing is he is several steps away, so the enemy isn't necessarily going to target him. He is down 1 hit point, so we don't want him up in the fray. Don't pull an Andrew. And I think that's good. So now we move to the last one, which is the Warden. And again, I don't know all the skills, so let's look at them over real quick. The Warden, by the way, is 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces away from getting to the rat. Let's see what we got. We have a knockback 3 shield bash. This is identical to the penitent, and it's okay. Knockback 3 is okay. It actually works really well in this situation because she'll kill all those other rats. We got a taunt, which is the same as the penitent. No, this is the same as the warbear. Arcing strike. Penitent and warbear both have this. I don't know if it costs 4, but they both have this. They all have different bonuses here, though. I think the penitent gained movement points. The warbear gained, I think, an empower, and then this guy gets defensive. Also, that reminds me. Everybody gets one of these because of the permanent bonus on the sheet. So let's see if this works. I'm going to grab 2 of these, and I'm going to shift 1. Oh, it's so nice. Shift 2. Look at that. Shift 4. Bam. Alright. Chain drag. Select an adjacent character. Draw a yellow. You may redraw the yellow as many times as you want, spending crystal each time you do. Knock back the character in a direction of your choosing, a number of hexes equal to the total shown. Place yourself in any empty hex adjacent to the target. So you can knock them back. Basically, you can drag them around. That could be handy. That's especially nice if you got the fire on the board, right? You could knock them into the fire. Not horrible. Could be better. Because knockbacks don't do damage unless that character hits something. Draw a number of whites equal to the number of enemies adjacent to you. Spend 1 to redraw all blanks once. For each card value of 2, a different one of these enemies loses. Again, oh, I'm not liking this character. Like, where's his damage dealing? I mean, I guess you have a regular attack here. You can't even attack with this card. Guard. This is identical to the penitent. And there's an attack there. Hardly any attacks. Once per round, you may battle flow a card. Alright. I mean, it has a lot of the skills that the penitent has, and I like those skills, but there's hardly any attacks. Alright, well, we gotta move, and none of these have moves on them. Neither did the penitent, though, as much as I'm talking about how awesome he was. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to move him up. And so 1, 2, 3, 4. And now we only have 2 crystals left. Don't want to do that. I could chain drag him. Knocks him back in a direction of my choosing. Or just do a regular attack. Okay, so why is the knockback helpful in this case? Let me show you. I'm pointing right at him. I can choose a direction like this. So if it goes in that direction, it's going to hit all three of these giant rats and the tree. And by hitting them, he's going to do 1 damage to each of them, and he's going to destroy the tree. And then all 4 of them are going to damage her. I said him a couple times. It's a her. So she's going to take 4 damage, and each of these are going to take damage. I'm going to kill all 3 of these giant rats and do 4 damage to her. In this case, that's an awesome skill. In Chapter 2, it's going to be a horrible skill. But when you're facing multiple enemies, this knockback thing is not as bad as advertised. So let's do that. We're going to do the claim ground. No, the chain drag. So I have to draw yellow, and I may redraw as many times as I want. I'm going to knock back the number of hexes based on whatever's on the card. So if I draw a 2, he's going to knock back 2 spaces. I think I only need to knock him back 1 space to do some serious damage. So we're going to go ahead and do this. It goes in the 2 location, costs 2. We could use this to spend more if we need to. We also have a redraw, and we're going to do yellow. So we can really milk this whole thing by having it all spaced out. So you can see there's 4 blanks out of 6, but we're doing a yellow here, and there's 17 of those. You can see there's a possible 3. I'm going to go ahead and let's draw 1, and there it is. It's a 3 crit, which means I get to roll another, and I'll roll blank. The 3 is all I need. So we're going to knock this thing back 3 spaces. So what it does is it goes 1, 2, 3, like that. And I do like that it lets me simulate it with all the stuff in the way. Alright, so this tree is going to get destroyed. So that's 1 victim. Let me just get that and put the tree back in the box here. We'll put it somewhere. We'll just put the tree off to the side. That tree gets destroyed. And so you take this center hex, 1, 2, 3. The center hex is going to move to here. Actually, no, I don't want to move it this way. I want to move it straight back. Hold on. The tree is here. So here's my dilemma. If I move it to here, does it hit this rat? Because this line goes through the rat to get to that line. So if you're moving it perfectly in that angle, I'm going to say yes it does, right? Because you have to go through this rat to get to here. See? Just barely, but it does go through. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Or I can go straight backwards, which would be 1, 2, and then hit the edge of the map. And straight backwards would do the same thing. It goes from this edge through the rat to that edge. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to push it back this way to right here. I only actually have to go back 1 space, but I'll go back 2. Alright, so this rat gets killed, and so does this one, because he does 1 damage to each of them. So the Broodmother goes there. So the tree and all 3 of those rats do 1 damage to her. Now, those were all facing her rear, and so I'm going to do all 4 damage here and reduce it to a 2. So that was a pretty good attack. We got the blade here, the Warden there. I actually really liked that. That was good. Okay. I am concerned. Doesn't have a lot of there's a lot of cards here, yes, but not a lot with attacks. Pointing to the wrong one. And then I believe the Warden is done. Yes. We'll save our tokens for later. So now it's their turn. First thing that happens is Broodmother goes first. Um, she plays this card right here, which we can put in the discard pile. Release the brood with one extra rat. So release the brood. She basically puts 3 rats in the hexes closest to her rear. She poops out rats. And so she normally does 3, but this is saying she gets to do 4. And it was nice because we killed them all. Now, if you look at her rear, it's these 3. There's no spaces to put the rats. None. And it says that the hexes closest to her rear that have no characters in them. If there's no empty adjacent hexes, place the 2 away instead. So I think she's still going to poop them out. They're just going to be 1, because that's closest, 2, and then 2 spaces away would be 3, and then that's 4, like so. Okay, so not only does she poop them out, she now moves 3 to the northwest. So always look at her center. The center is going to move here. That's 1 space. And then it's just like a light reflecting off of a mirror. So she's going to go up, and then she's going to bounce. So she's going to go 1, 2, and then 3. So she's going to end up there. Now, we got to move these rats out of the way. They don't take damage in this case. They just move themselves out of the way. And they have the northwest rule. But this one is actually going to push to here. And this one's going to push to there. The northwest rule. Alright, so she did that move. And she's actually going to be oriented this way. Because she's going to be facing the direction she moved. Alright, then each rat gains 1 extra mic card. So when the rats take their turn, they're going to get to draw these cards when they attack you. And they have the mob keyword, which means that they're going to get to... so if there's 3 rats attacking you, you're going to draw 3 yellows and 3 whites and add them all together, and all of them are attacking you at once. They have only 1 health, and they're immune to any attacks that she does, which is fine. The pushback was not an attack she did, and they move 6. Okay, so she actually didn't do any attacks. That was all she was doing, and now the rats do get to go. So we start with the northwest one most, and they can't go through her. So this one's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6. They always go northwest. Could have gone here, but this is northern, so that's the path they take. And this one could not get to anybody. This one, they always target the closest, so 1, and then 2, and target him. This one targets the closest, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is going to take 1, 2, 3, 4. So 2 of them are targeting the blade. This one will target 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And since this consumes 2 movement points, this rat can't go after the witch, so it's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and target the warden. Like so. Now, here's the insanity part. I'm going to play the guard, which is going to move him, and then this rat's going to have nobody to attack. So, I don't know what happens. Does that mean that these attacks are all simultaneous, and so I still have to resolve this even though he moved? Or if he moves to guard him, this rat, what's he going to do? He has nobody to attack if I resolve this battle first. I'm going to assume they're simultaneous, because the rules do seem to emphasize that a lot. So even if this guy moves, he still has to resolve this attack. So we'll go ahead and do this attack first. So there is a penalty, by the way, if they are at your rear. I don't remember what that is, but They do have a penalty, but that's not the case here. So this rat is attacking alone against the Warden. Now, normally the rat would just draw 1 yellow, but this encourage lets him draw 2 yellows and 1 white. And the enemy uses a different set of cards. So we're going to draw 2 yellows, 1, 2, and 1 white. So, and if the enemy has blanks, they ignore them. So it doesn't hurt them like it hurts us. But they did draw a crit, which they also ignore. So they just do 3 damage to us. So, before that happened, the Warden can choose to defend himself. So the Warden is Shift 4. So the Warden can play any of these cards and add to his defense. Now, he has a defense value of 3. Actually, he has a defense value of 4. So, that attack from the rat's going to do no damage whatsoever. I could have played one of these cards. It wouldn't have cost me any gems. Or I can do a reaction. This one I can force an enemy to taunt him or focus on him instead. I could have done this knockback one. So I could have added 3. That would have added 1. Yeah, I don't think I would have played any because I was planning on doing this one, the guard, which lets me move 2 towards the other character, and then they can use my defense instead of theirs. The blade actually has 3 defense, and my defense is 4, so it's only 1 defense better, but it does help. And I probably should save it for defending the witch or whatever, but I think they're okay. Now, the one thing that is a problem with this is it's using up one of those precious attacks I told you I don't have a lot of. I'm still okay with it. And the reason I want to do this is it's more of a matter of positioning. When he takes his next turn, the big rat's way up here, and I'm going to get 2 free movement points to guard him, and that puts me closer to the big rat, so I spend less gems getting up there to do my attack. That's really the primary thing I want to do. So this one didn't do anything, and so this guy's getting attacked, and yeah, I'm going to spend my guard to move 2 up and guard him. It does help him because the blade only has 3 defense, and now he's going to be able to use the Warden's 4 defense because the Warden has a shield. And playing that card doesn't cost me any gems or anything, but it does make the card go into the 1 slot. And yeah, so now we go to the blade, and he gets to defend himself, and he will, because this is a much bigger attack. So we got this Mule's Regard. After an adjacent enemy draws damage, we can kick them. And right now he is in Ox form to make them redraw cards. That part's fine. We can play so somersault. We are in Ox form. Place your figure in the opposite side of an adjacent enemy. Any character in that hex suffers 1 knockback in any direction. Oh gosh, I want to play that and this next time. I want to play this now, that later. This one is good. I think we're going to do this one. This adds 2 defense to him. So, yeah. I can still stay in Ox form because I have a tie and I get to choose. But I'm going to do, well, hold on. If I play this, yes, that'll keep me in Ox form. Okay, I'm going to do this. So that adds 2 defense. So now he has 4 because of what the Warden did. And then I add 2 more. So he has 6. And it's the same division rules. So now we're going to go ahead and the enemy, I probably want to move our allies further down. Okay, so enemy is done. So How do I want to do discards? I'm going to move this down. The discards are going to be on above, so we don't get confused. Okay, so there's 2 rats attacking him. So that means each rat is going to draw 2 yellows and 1 white. So that's 4 yellows and 2 whites going against this guy. So here's 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is 6 damage against the blade. And we said that he's at 4 defense, and then this makes it 6. So 6 divided by 6 is 1. So the blade would lose 1 health. The blade has several options. The first one is he could play this, and that would make it 7, which would mean he would lose no health, because 6 divided by 7 is less than 1. We always round down. Or he could play Mule's Regard, and he can kick them where it hurts, forcing them to redraw any 2 cards, or 3 if in Oathsworn. And so we're going to play this one and save our token. So that just puts him another card here in the 3 spot. And in doing so, it's going to cause this to... Was that automatic? No. That was just luck. Alright, so and that's going to cause battle flow. So now this is going to battle flow over to here because a second card appeared here. And so now he actually has a tie in all these spots. He can still choose Oathsworn when it's his next turn. So we can choose 3 of these and make him redraw 3 of them. This 1, the only way you can get better is a miss. I'm okay with the 1 being there, but I'm going to choose these 2 to redraw. So here we go. Drew the exact same dang things. So yeah, I guess so that means I'm losing a health. And so now I guess I'm going to have to spend that token. I don't want to lose the health. That's not something you want to get in the business of doing. So we'll just put it here. Now, the decision to play a card to add to your defense is before the enemy reveals its damage. The decision to play the token is after. So the tokens are very powerful. That's the reason why, even though I wanted to try out what the other ones did, I wanted one of these. Because these are, you just saw, it just saved me a health point loss. And you might be thinking, well, 1 out of 6 isn't a big deal. This rat is nowhere near dead. And 6 health is a very big deal. It's very precious. You need to hold on to it like it's your sister's chastity. Okay. That is the end of the turn. This rat doesn't get to do anything. So now it's the Oathsworn's turn, and so we get to refresh. Oh, I gotta do it the right way. Shift 1, refresh. Both of these cards come back into her hand. Shift 3, refresh. Shift 4, refresh. Yes, that was so quick. Okay, so now we get to do all of our shenanigans. And remember, it's in any order, and you don't have to take all of your actions at once. You can take some and then wait for somebody else to do something. So the rat is next to the blade. I want to start with the blade, I believe, because the blade had some abilities that I wanted to use. And one of them was this Ox ability here, Somersault. Place your figure on the hex on the opposite side of the adjacent enemy. Any character in that hex suffers knockback 1 or 2 if in Ox form, in any direction you choose. And then I get to attack them. Target the enemy you leapt over. If you're attacking the enemy's rear, it's empowered times 3. So what I don't understand is if I knock them back and then they're far away from me, I can't attack them anymore. That's the part. So you leap over the guy, you knock him back. Any character in that hex suffers knockback in any direction you choose. But if they move away from you, how do you attack them here? Target the enemy you leapt over. I don't understand. Alright, I'm going to board game geek this one. Okay, I understand somersault better now. The somersault, if you leap over this character, I would be leaping into a tree, which I can't do. That's the first problem. Or I would be leaping into the edge of the map. That's the other problem. So I can't do either of those. But you're not knocking back the Broodmother. You're knocking back whoever's in the... So let's say that this was a rat. Like a rat was right in that spot. If you leapt over the Broodmother and landed on the rat, you're knocking that rat backwards. Or any direction you want. And it could be into the Broodmother. So that's what you're doing. So like, if this rat was here, and I leapt over this rat, I could land on that one, and in doing so, I would then push this rat in a direction that I wanted. And I think it said 2 spaces or whatever, so it would go either 2 spaces to there, or I could actually push the rat into this one, and then it would kill both of these rats. That's what it means. And then if I land here, then I get to attack this. That's what the somersault is. I was really excited, but this tree's in a way. I can't do that. If I could do a knockback on this, that would be nice. I do have the ability to do a whirlwind attack, which will attack both of these rats and 2 of the Broodmother spaces, which is going to be one of the dice on the flank, the left side, and it's going to get a +1 damage because I'm attacking 2 spaces. So I am going to do that instead of the somersault. We can't do the somersault. I mean, I could. I could somersault over this, and then I'm at his rear, and I get an empowered ×3 attack against that rat. But the whirlwind one is a better fit, and then you're not going to hit any allies with the whirlwind one. You don't have to worry about that. So that's this winnowing strike. Targets all adjacent hexes. Well, I better make sure it doesn't attack friendlies. I don't think it does. Okay, turns out my concern was correct. It hits friendlies. It hits everybody. So what that means is I need to get the Warden out of the way. So I was planning on moving the Warden here and attacking the rat. Or I could just make the Warden absorb a hit. I just think the blade could potentially do a lot of damage. Or I can move the Warden further away and just attack this rat over here. Remember, I can move the Warden just 1 space and then pause and let him take his turn, and then move the Warden another space and then have him finish. So I also have this attack with the Warden that hits all 3 of these. So that was something I wanted to do. Let me think about this. Yeah, I'm going to spend 1 crystal to just move the Warden out of the way, so that way he could do his attack. So Warden, I believe, is shift 4. So 1 crystal to do that move. So let's go back to shift 2. We are going to somersault. Nope, we can't somersault. Winnowing strike. If we're in snake form, we gain a redraw. We have 1, 1, and 1, so we get to pick the form, and the 2 position is Viper. So we're going to do Viper, and we're going to get a free redraw. So this is going to cause, yep, that to happen. Holy crap, maybe it really does work. Nope. How did I get that to happen last time? That card moved right over like it was supposed to. Okay, what if I take a card from here? Yeah, see, look, it moved both of those over. That's really impressive. Okay, that time it didn't though. He must have some kind of coding in place. So if that goes to 0 and then it leaves. Hmm. Anyways, I was impressed. The smallest things, right? Okay, Winnowing Strike. Area of effect, we gain a redraw. Attack once, apply it to all targets, and he gets a yellow. So in this situation, he's going to be hitting this guy twice, which gets a +1 damage against her, and then these guys you only need to hit once. So in this situation, we have. Well, here, I can do it this way, can't I? This is our discard section. So there's a yellow and a yellow, like that. You'll find the distribution's the same. There's going to be blanks and then 3 numbers. One of them's crit and then 2 other numbers. So 2 of the best yellows have already been used, but we're going to go ahead and draw the 1 yellow. And then the one thing I don't want is to miss. I do have 2 redraws here. So I'm going to draw 1, 2, 3. See, because there's 4 blanks in here. There's 2 more blanks in this deck. I'm actually going to draw a 4th one. Oh, I drew 3 blanks. Alright, so let's do a redraw on the yellow. And then I got to do another redraw on one of these whites. And I know for a fact that this is not going to be a blank. Well, no, because right here is the 6th one. So we know that one's good. It's just this one. And we made it. Alright, this is a crit. Normally I roll a die on a crit because I don't want to waste the cards. But I know these cards are good. Actually, I'm going to roll the die anyways because I'm going to save these cards for whoever attacks next. So let's go ahead and roll this. And of course it's a blank, which was something that would never happen with that, but that's fine. So we're going to go ahead and discard there. So we got 2, 4, 6, 7 damage. The little rats have 2 shields just like the big one. 7 damage divided by 2 is 3. The little rats don't stand a chance in Hades, so both of them are gone. 1, 2, gone. Now the big rat, I get to add +1 damage, so then instead of 7 it becomes 8. So that means I did 4 damage against the big rat instead of just 3. And that is awesome. So 4 damage against the big rat, and it's its left side, because I'm on the flank. So the left side of this is a full die, and so we're going to move that down to 2. Just like so. Alright, and then the blade needs to get out of the way so this guy can do his attack. So the blade is going to move 1 space this way, and of course we need to make sure he's facing the right direction. And that's going to cost him 4 cubes for this, and then 1 for the move, and he has 3 left. So he can keep attacking. Oh, now we could do the somersault. See, we could somersault over to here. Yes, we're going to somersault over to here, which is a 2 card. And by playing the 2 card here, that moves over. Okay, now we have 3 cards here, so we are for sure in boar. So the somersault, we're not going to be able to knock it 2 spaces anymore. We can only knock back 1 in any direction I choose. Oh, I'm sorry, that's only if I land on something. I'm going to attack the enemy I leaped over. I am not in the rear. That's the only drawback, because I would get empower times 3. This is the rear. These are the rear tiles. I'm actually at the flank. But I'm going to go ahead and do the attack, and it's going to be a yellow. And I'm going to roll white dice. I am not going to use these precious ones. So I'm going to draw a yellow, and I'm going to roll 2 white dice. The flank only has 1 die on it, and so I only need to do 1 damage to this thing. So I'm going to roll these 2 dice first. And I did draw a blank, which if this is a blank, I'm in trouble. I had them all selected. Alright, so I drew a crit and another crit. So for this crit, like I don't even need to roll crits because I can't carry damage over from one dice to the next. Um, do I want to draw another yellow? Is the question. There's only one blank drawn, so there's a real high chance this is a blank. So I'm going to go ahead for that crit and draw another yellow. It's not. Oh, the distribution is not what I was expecting. There is more numbers on the yellow. Okay, so what was it? It was 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 damage, 7, 8. I only needed 2. This die gets destroyed. All right, so what happens is this rat immediately interrupts and attacks me. And, oh, by the way, this was supposed to be revealed. So we knew what it was going to do. So I should have attacked this die, actually. Oh, I'm in the front 3. I'm in the front 3. I could have attacked that one. Yes. So what did I say? I did 8 damage. Divided by 2 is 4. Yeah, I destroyed that die. And I would have known this, because you get to see this before you choose. And here's why. I expose that symbol, and see that symbol there? That means that the rat, when it attacks me, is going to have one of his dice destroyed. So because we damaged his head, he's not going to do as much damage. So he's going to poop some mice. So 1, 2, and then 2 spaces away is 3 out the rear. I guess you could say, yeah, these are the 3 rear spaces. We'll do that. So poop some mice, move 7 to her target. Her target is right here. So all she does is just change angle. But this is why the somersault is really awesome. Because with the somersault, she now put her rear towards the other characters. And I'm looking at the Cur here, who can do backstab. So that's getting pretty sweet. Alright, so she moves towards me. And then, well actually, she's going to move again, so never mind. She's going to attack me. And then she's going to move 3 to the southeast. So I was getting excited, but it's not going to work. Alright, so her attack to me is 2 red and 3 yellow. But one of the red is destroyed, because that's the die we destroyed. Now, I got to decide, how am I going to defend myself? So I only have 1 defense here, and I will use it. It's a 1, so I'm going to put that here. And all 3 of these move over. I don't know why it didn't work. Maybe that little mechanism only works the first time you play a card. So these 3 move down to the 0, which is good, because that means he'll get it back during the refresh. And, yes. The defense is 3 plus 1 is 4. And here we go. 1, 2, 3, and then 1 red. The other red is destroyed because of that symbol. So here we go. Blank, blank, 1, 4. I'll take the 2 blanks, so this 4 hurts, but that's a 5. I have a 4, so I do take 1 health loss. And that's why I fought so hard not to lose that health last time. Alright, so I'm okay with that. 1 health loss. The 2 blanks was awesome. If it wasn't for this, we would have actually been fine. And so there we go. Enemy is done. And then now she's going to move 3 to the southeast. So this thing is going to rotate around. And this is the center. So 1, 2, 3 is right here. And we're going to drop it like so. Like that. So that's the orientation. The rear is still available. And then because she moved through here, this does get pushed out of the way. Or no, they only get pushed if she ends her turn on their location. If she moves completely through them, they don't get pushed at all. Okay, that's it for that action. And the blade still has 3. So we spent 4 And then 1. Where's the 0 card? Oh, here it is. So we're going to play this one and use the last 3 to get another attack in. Did I really? I did save 2 crystals, so I had the full 8 this turn. We spent 4 for this. We spent 3 for the somersault, so that's 7. Yeah, there's no way I have 3 crystals left. We did the winnowing strike for 4. Then we did the somersault for 3. I had the full 8. So I should be down to 1 crystal. This would cost me 3 to attack again, which I can't do because I'm actually too many spaces away. I'm 3 spaces away. So I am going to spend 1 crystal. I mean, I could do that. It'll let me battle flow a card. So I'm going to do that. And yeah, I see I get 3 cards back in my hand. And actually, why didn't I think of that? There's my hand right there. Alright, so I get 3 cards back in my hand, and I'm going to battle flow 1 card. And the card I'm going to battle flow is this one. So that goes to there. Alright, I like it. I like Pizza Steve. So let's see if I can get all of these into my hand. Right? That card dropped. There we go. That's a little more helpful than leaving one on the board or the table. Okay, exciting turn. Now, we have the witch here. We're going to be able to do some cool stuff with another frost. We have a whole bunch of AoE we can do. I like that. We have the Cur, who needs to pick up his weapon. And then the 3 rear hexes are back here, or these 3. So the Cur standing here could hit the rear, which is considered a backstab. I think, well here, they got a diagram of what the rear is versus the side. I know I can't show it to you. I apologize. So they don't overlap. It's more of a... So all 3 of these are considered flank. And then these 3 are considered the rear. So in order to attack from the rear, you have to be standing in one of those locations. Okay. I'm actually torn on who should go next. The Warden can move up 1 space. See, this rat is isolated, so the Broodmother is... If he wants to attack the Broodmother, he's not going to be able to attack that anymore. Let's do the Cur. So that's what? Shift 3? Alright, so the Cur... Let's take these cards. Put them in his hand. Alright. We want to do backstab. That's going to cost 4. To pick up his weapons, he has to spend 1, 2 to pick up his weapons. Then he's going to have to spend 2 more to get behind him and backstab. So weapon is considered to be picked up. On the wrong side. Weapon is considered to be picked up. Um, which is 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you might be thinking, well, hold on, you need 4, Jeff. And I do. But I got this. So this is a 2 token that we will play. And then I'll play those 2, and that's the 4 I needed to do the backstab. So if targeting an enemy's rear, I get 5 damage and I gain a lethality token, which is one of the things I wanted. And I think that when I threw the daggers, I gained 1 too. Yes, gain 1 if any enemy loses. So we should have 2 lethality. Now remember, the lethality, if I spend 2 of them, I get empower times 2. You want to save those bad boys up, I think. So we're going to do that. We get plus 5 damage, which is pretty good. I have no bonus, but remember, we saved this. So I'm going to draw exactly 3, and I know that they're good. And then I'm going to form a new deck. Nope, I'm just going to roll a die with it, because I know none of these are blanks, and this die is for sure not going to be a blank. Or if it is a blank, it's just going to be 1 blank. And I got to move stuff out of the way, and I think that's a solid 2. So we're going to take the 2, and then 1, 1, 1. So that's 3. Okay, so 3, 4, 5, plus the 5, that's 10 damage. And 10 damage divided by 2 is 5 overall pips in the rear. So the poop shoot is, he's going to have some hemorrhoids tonight. So 5 in the rear, as you can tell, I didn't even need to do that much damage. I needed to actually attack in the front. But so this die is now destroyed. And I was going to say this should be presented, but 2 dice are destroyed. And when they lose 2 dice, they go to stage 2. So this card goes away, as does all these. And now all the stage 2 cards come out. Shuffle, shuffle. And then this card is actually happening. And it's called Burst. So she's going to poop some rats. 1, 2, 3. Oh, northwest rule. So all 3 of these were taken, so the north would have happened, and then the northwest. So even though this one next to me would have been more damaging, the northwest rule always happens. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. And then she's going to move 3 to the northwest. She then bursts the rat closest to an Oathsworn. As it dies, it creates a toxic cloud. This will cause any enemies in the area to suffer an attack from the Broodmother immediately. And at the start of every encounter phase, max 1 per round, the toxic cloud remains in play. That is true. I remember this. So she's going to move 3 to the northwest. So she's here. So 1, 2. She's going to finish her turn here. And she's going to be facing that way. So that means she's going to push 3 rats out of the way. They get pushed to the northwest, but there's no empty spaces here. So this is going to get pushed here. And then there. Ugh. Because, yeah, she's taken up all that spot. I don't know why I'm having such a hard time dropping this. Man. Alright, let's move this tree out of the way. There we go. It must have been the tree that was causing the issue. There. Now all is right with the world. Okay, the cur is still here, and actually the cur is actually still behind her. But a rat is going to burst. And this rat is the one closest, that's her target. So this rat is going to die. And then what happens is one of these things comes out. So this is going to fill the space where the rat was. And ah, we're going to have to move stuff. So one, that's going to go there. So this rat goes here, there, the cur was there, and then this rat goes. This is like comedy club. All right. So then I immediately suffer an attack because I'm standing in the toxicity. Immediately, and then of course at the start of the encounter phase. So if I don't get off the space, I'll get attacked again. All right, so this is going to be the cur. So it's Andrew all over again. We're backstabbing and then getting attacked all the time. So we could play one of these cards. So see, if targeting the flank or rear, we want to save that. Before an enemy selects a target, pick a friendly character. They cannot be the primary target, and then you gain. Oh, I could have picked somebody else. When you pick a friendly character, you can pick yourself. So I could have smoke bombed it and made him choose someone else as the target. I like that one. We're gonna do that smoke bomb, and it costs nothing, and we gain a lethality token, which is all the more reason why I like that. So we're gonna get another lethality, and we did a beautiful job putting this thing down, but now we gotta rearrange everything. So he wasn't there. He was there because the rat I destroyed was that one. So I'm going to get everybody out of the way again. Get that out of the way. It's something being placed somewhere. I just don't know where. Those two rats go back. This guy was here. And then this rat, I believe, was there. The problem is there's no other rat. Except for this one. That's even going to be in the toxicity. So we're going to destroy that rat. And then this goes. Yeah. Going to move the tree again. Move him again. So this is going to go there. Nobody's getting attacked by this. Because the smoke bomb worked. That's where the rat was. So it created this stink cloud. So it makes it harder for the warden to come in and do his business. But yeah, so the cur is still sitting here, and I believe he has. Yeah, he has no crystals left. We burned everything. It would have been nice to move out of the way so the warden can come in. But that's not the case. And then the warden spent a gem just to get out of the way, and now he's going to have to spend a gem again to get up here. So that's problematic. But, or if the warden's willing to take damage, he could just move one space here and attack the Broodmother. We will deal with that later. Let's look at the witch now. Alright, we got a lot of options. We have ice on the board, and we can use our ability to create 2 more ice. So we're going to have 4 if we use our ability. The chain lightning lets us choose 4 targets. And by the way, the chain effect is that the first one, like if you draw 4 cards on the first one, you have to choose the order that they're going to appear. And then the next one only gets 3 cards, and then the next one only gets 2 cards, and the last one only gets 1. And, well, actually, you reveal all the cards and you sort them in power. And then the lowest cards drop off. So, let's say you draw 4 cards. The first target gets all 4 of them. The second target's going to get the top 3, and the lowest card's going to fall off. So that's how chain lightning works. That's still very powerful. That could do a lot of damage. And these rats only have 1 hit point each. Another one that it looks really powerful is Ice Spike. So if I can line her up It only consumes 2 of the ice, and it's going to hit 3 targets all in a line at range 3 and apply full damage to the first occupied hex. For each additional hex, it's going to ignore the highest numbered card. But it doesn't like. It's just going to ignore the highest. So the other 2 are going to be slightly less. Large enemies can be targeted more than once, which gives you the +1 damage bonus. We also have Comet. That's just a straight up single target attack at range 5, almost like a bow attack. And then you could spend additional ice to add 2 damage. Before damage is drawn, spend any amount of gems to select the same amount of ice. Remove that ice and it adds 2 damage. Okay. Select an enemy that's on ice. I thought we played that card. We also got it back. So this is only if there's none. We get to put them out. Which, right now, that's not the case. But an attack at range 2 is still not horrible. She does have a yellow cube. Oh, her weapon says when you use an ability with the range keyword, you get to add 2 range to it. So, and it's any ability. So, like, this is a range 3, so you get to add 2 range. The chain is 2 range. And then, to cast spells, you must consume these tiles, removing them. You can only consume tiles, hexes within range 3. That's an ability. So this makes it range 5. Alright, so I think it's going to be Ice Spike or Chain Lightning. Which one are we going to do? Well, first we're going to do the special ability. So we can pick one of these, and it lets us put 2 more ice on. So it like spreads. So I can do Ice, Ice, Baby. Just like that. So now she has 4. And the rat is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spaces away. So remember the range is 5 now because of the wand that she has. And I gotta be within 3 or 5 to be able to cast Chain Lightning on the rat. But I could choose Chain Lightning on one of the smaller rats and then choose target the big one later, but I don't want to do that. So I want to move at least 1 space forward, which is going to cost 1 gem. And then, yes, we're going to do a Chain Lightning, which is going to cost 3 more gems. And I have to spend 3 of the ice to do this. So 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to choose the rear of the rat as target 1. Then target 2, I'm going to choose this rat in the back. And then target 3 is going to be the Broodmother again. And then target 4 is going to be this rat. Because remember, you can target the same thing twice, but it has to be, you have to choose something else in between. So this guy's going to get targeted twice, the first and third attack. These two, this is going to get the second, that's going to get the fourth. So we get to draw a yellow, and then we got to reform the white deck here, and this is a free thing to do. Normally you have to spend to be able to do this, but we get to do it for free because it was empty. So we're going to draw 1 of those, and we're going to draw 3 of these. I need at least 4. We're going to do that. I could draw a 5th one. I have 1, 2 redraw tokens. I'm going to just do 4. So there's a 2, 2, 2, and 1. 2, 4, 6, 7 damage against the first rat. Now, do I resolve them separately? That's the next excellent question. If I'm targeting the same one twice, they got a whole section here on chain lightning, or chained effects, so bear with me. It is such a massive amount of text. You only draw once for damage. The damage is then applied to each target in a chain. For each additional target, ignore the lowest number. After the chain attack, the attacker is placed in the closest empty hex to the final target. Do not move this for ranged chain attacks. Okay, yeah, this is a ranged chain attack, so we don't have to do it for that. If an Oathsworn performs the attack, players may choose which of the closest hexes. Never mind. Alright, so they have a lot of... I think we have to resolve each attack separately. So we're doing a range attack that does 2, 4, 6, 7 damage against the Broodmother. And has 2 defense. We hit the rear. The rear is destroyed, so I could choose any of these dice. But the moment I destroy a die, the rest of the attack doesn't happen, because the Broodmother immediately interrupts. And by the way, this is what's going to happen. Okay, but I can target this one. Since this is gone, this is now the next closest. All 3 of these are equally close. So this is the die I'm targeting. So we just did 7 damage divided by 2. So that's 3 damage to this die. So I'm going to knock it down to 3. Oh, man. What am I doing? It's because I picked this up. This was a 1. This was a 3. What was that? I want to say that was a 2. Because it wasn't high. I know that. Because I think it was a 2, 1, and a 6. Yeah, I think I got that right. Okay. So that was the first attack. Then what it's saying is, then we remove this, and then the rat gets attacked with this, and it has a defense of 2. That's 3 damage. It only has 1 health, so he's killed. So then this happens, and now we're attacking the big rat at 4 divided by 2. I do 2 more damage to the Broodmother, but because I don't want to destroy a die, I'm going to reduce that to a 1. And then this goes away, and then the final rat gets attacked with 2, which is perfect, because that still kills the final rat, like so. Alright. And the big rat is close to destruction. So now I want to do... We want to kill this big rat before those little rats get a chance to go. And the reason I say that is because, first of all, there's a ton of little rats. And then secondly, he's so close to being dead. We just want to finish this off. So we got the cur is done. The blade is done. But between the Warden and the witch, I think we got to finish this thing out. So we could do an ice spike, which is a range 3. It consumes 2 of these things, and that's the problem. We only have 1 on the board. So what I can then do is a comet. So it costs 1. It's a range 5. I could add more damage with these, but I have to choose beforehand. So I'm going to spend these 2. Whoops. And do the comet, which is going to go there. I love that this happens automatically. It's a range 5 attack. I can add more damage. Well, there's nothing to add. This is gone. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to attack the Broodmother. I can choose the die later. We're going to be doing a yellow plus 1, 2 whites. I only need to do 2, 1, or 1 to kill a die, so I don't want to go overboard here. I do have some rerolls, so I'm good there. So let's go ahead and do this, this, and this. That is perfect. 4 damage is 2 to the rat. So I'm going to destroy the 2 die as a result. And so now the rat goes into a frenzy and encourage occurs. I'm going to put this in the... So encourage is she's going to poop some more rats, which is why we have to kill. So north rule, northwest rule. 2 spaces away. These are all the rear. That is northwest versus here. That's 2 spaces away. Yeah, I guess it has to go there, which is unfortunate for the Warden. Okay, so that happens, and then she's going to move 3 to the northeast. So 1, 2, and then bounce to 3. So this tree gets destroyed. And I'm getting pushed to the northwest. To there. So he's stopping like so. I don't know why it's there we go. Except it's not in that spot. He's on this spot. So he moved, here was his center. 1, 2, and then turned to 3. So further away from everybody. And yes, the little mice are encouraged. So we have to do 2 more hits on this thing. The witch is out of gems, but does have 2. The problem is I don't think I have anything that I can spend 2 gems on. This costs 3 to attack. That costs 2. But I need ice. Or no, I can do an unarmed range 3 attack, which becomes 5. But the thing is he's too far away now. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's 7 spaces away. Oh man, I'm going to not be able to pull this off, am I? So what I can do is elemental suffusion. And I can at least put some ice or fire on the board. That would cost me 2. I have 2 here. I'm going to go ahead and do it. I don't know how helpful it's going to be. I don't know why that thing fell to the ground. There we go. Okay, so am I doing fire or am I doing ice? It has to be within range 3. We'll do ice. And we're going to do it here. Make these things pay if they want to attack her. So now it's all up to the Warden, who is 1, 2, 3 spaces away. His move down actually is not a bad idea now. And has 5 gems left, 3 spaces away. And we need multiple attacks. This is a 4 gem attack. This one is 2 gems. That's a nice one. And that one's 3 gems. So that's 5 gems. And I have 7. Ooh, I need to spend 3 to move. 1, 2, 3. And this rat's gonna run as soon as I destroy a die. It's gonna do... Oh, 4 dice are destroyed. It would not have done this, folks. I apologize. Encourage would not have happened. Oh, I'm sorry. We only destroyed 3 dice. Never mind. So when I destroy the 4th die, this is not going to happen. We don't know what's going to happen. It's these final cards here. Well, I have no choice but to move 3, unless there was something I missed on my cards. Like if I have a ranged attack of some kind. I do have a knockback. The area effect. For each draw of a 2, a different enemy loses a health. That is pretty cool. I might be able to pull this off. But the problem is that rat's going to run as soon as I hit it. So here we go. 1, 2, 3. I'm next to the rat. Got to spend 3 gems. Oh, I'm on the wrong guy. 1, 2, 3. And I am going to play not Arcing Strike, this one, because it costs 2 gems to do just a basic plain Jane attack. And those 2 gems are going to be this. And we can put these cards in his hand. Oh, I was putting them in the 0 spot. Okay, perfect. So let's do a plain Jane attack. He does not have any bonuses, so it's all whites. I only need to do 1 damage, so I'm going to draw 3. And hope 2 of them didn't miss. And 2 of them missed. And I better have a redraw token. I have exactly 1 redraw. Wow, this is getting dicey. Alright, so... And I missed. Oh, man. I needed that to hit, folks. I needed that to hit. Alright, so this triggers what's called determination. So determination in this case is he gets his redraw token back that he spent on the attack, and then he gains any token he wants. And he's going to take another redraw token. That hurts. So then he does have 2 gems, and he's still going to... We're going to at least get 1 of the dice, because we're going to do the claim ground. Draw a number of this equal to the number of enemies adjacent to you. Spend a shield to redraw all blanks. For each value of 2, a different enemy loses a health. I may not kill him with this. But we'll try it. So that's 2. I can do 1 redraw if it's a blank. Unfortunately, there's only 1 enemy next to me. So I'm drawing 1 and only 1 card, and it's a blank. The good news is 5 of the 6 blanks are gone, and there's 8 cards left. I will... do I want to spend my defense? Yeah, we will. We're going to spend our defense. Draw 1 more. That is not a 2. So I don't do any damage to this guy at all. What a waste. The Warden, you suck. Alright, well, not only did I not kill a die, but this actually happens. So, what is it? And then all the rats have encourage, and there's a million rats on the board. I mean, I could have gone up and done something else. Oh man, this is not good. We're gonna get punched in the mouth. All right, she's gonna poop more rats. 1, 2, 3. Move 7 to the furthest rat and consume it. Remove from the game board. She regains 3 health to her most damaged location. So they're both tied, so we'll just pick this one. So 1, 2, 3 puts it back up to 4. She's going to move 7 to this rat, or let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to one of those rats. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to there. The problem is this is going to make her spend 2 movement points. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. She can move 7 to there. And she'll consume that one. She's going to cause these 2 to push. And she is here, oriented that way. But she's not done. All she did was go eat one. And then she's going to move 4 to her target. And attack. Her target is whoever's closest. So the cur is only 2 spaces away. So it's going to be the cur. So she's going to move 1, 2. She only has to move 2. And all of these are getting pushed. So this one's going to get pushed. And then these 2 are getting pushed. And so is that one. That one's getting pushed onto the ice. These 2. And it looks like she's attacking the cur. I'm not worried about the big attack. It's the little mice that's the problem. And actually, the fact that she's consuming 2 spaces next to the cur is actually probably going to save the cur from dying. Alright, so the cur has... We could play 3 defense, but then I lose this. I need the 3 defense, though. Right here, you cannot be the primary target of the enemy if you're in its rear arc. I'm going to play this one, Concealment, and that actually makes the rat choose somebody else. So that means the rat moved 2 to attack him. The next closest is actually her. So the rat was here. No, it was here. So now it's focusing on her, and it has 4 movement points. This is 1, 2 because of the ice, or the water. It's water, it's not ice. That's 1, 2, and that's 3, 4. It does not get to her. Oh, that's excellent. So we don't even get attacked. So these go back. So 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. Unfortunately, it means the cur is going to get surrounded and destroyed. Okay, so now the little rats go, and remember, they're encouraged. So they all have the bonus. I actually need a prayer now. This gives me 2 defense, and then I can immediately knock back myself or an adjacent character 1 hex. 2 hexes for each health I lost. I mean, that gets me out of the way in case I'm being attacked by more than 1 creature, but they're going to attack all at once. Or I got the 2 defense here. I actually played the 3 defense card. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong person. I apologize. Cur. I gotta go to the cur. After an enemy draws damage, I can kick him where it hurts. I like that. And I may have to do this for the 3 defense. I may have to play both of these, unfortunately. Alright, so let's resolve how these rats are going to go. Starting in the northwest, this one goes first. It's only 2 movement points to get to here or here, but they always go north and then west. So this one is going to move 2 to the west and attack the Warden. This one, it's 2 spaces to attack the cur and 3 to attack the Warden. So he's going to move 2, attack the cur. This one, it's going to move 2 and attack the Warden. This one is going to move 2, attack the cur. These 3 are not going to move. This one, 1, 2, 3, attack the cur. This is horrible. This one, they don't move through. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to attack the Warden. This one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to attack the witch. And 1, 2, 3 to attack the witch. That's our situation. Alright, let's do the Warden first. He's got a 3 defense card in his hand, which he's going to play. That gives him 3 more defense. He's up to 7. He has 3 rats next to him. They have the encourage bonus, so each rat's going to draw 2 yellows and 1 white. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of these and 3 of those. Holy cow. And then I just need to make sure, is there any reaction cards or no? Alright, so here we go. 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 damage. This is why I'm saying I just think the cur is going to be even worse. So 13 damage. And we had 7. So that means we're going to take just 1. Oh, that's not bad. Wrong person? Just 1. I will do that. Having 7, that's right, you always need a tank in this game. 2 tanks is even better, which is what the blade sort of is. He at least wears heavy armor. That's why you wear the tanks. So yeah, tanks for the memories. Alright, that was good. But that's not the one we were worried about. It's the cur. So it just so happens to occur next. So let's do that one. And we're playing all of our cards. We have to. As much as I would like to hold on to them, we're going to play the Nightshade as a defense because we need to add 3 to our defense with this one. And the good news is that's going to trickle these cards over. So that puts us up to 5, which is good. Very, very good. And then this one, we're going to play after they draw their damage. And we're going to force them to redraw 2 cards, which could help us a ton. And we're going to gain a one of these for each blank that is drawn on those redraws. So if we get a blank, that's going to be awesome. And we are playing it. We're going to play it no matter what. I don't think there's any way that they're going to draw so bad that we don't need it. So I'm going to put this here, and that's going to cause that to happen. And so just remember, we get to redraw 2 of theirs. And that's it. I don't have anything else. Now, sometimes there's cards that like, hey, if an adjacent player is going to take damage, Like we had that with the other party that we were using. If an adjacent player is going to take damage, we can, do something. Like we had the guard. The kinetic reflection is something that the witch can do. But yeah, not much else. Alright, so the Cur is on his own. And he is up against 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're drawing 12 of these and 6 of these. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. The only good news is there's a chance we may have drawn all 6 blanks. Um, 1, 2, 3, 4. We drew all 6 blanks. So it does not pay for us to have him redraw 2 of these cards unless we think we're going to get lower numbers. Which there are 1s, so we can maybe take these 3s and reduce them down to 1s. Or we can have him redraw over here, because these 2s can also be reduced to 1s or blanks. This is where we're going to want to look and see how many blanks there are. There's 1, 2, 3 blanks in here. So that means there's 3 more blanks out of the 6 in here. There's a good chance we're going to be able to draw some blanks, which will give us lethality tokens, and it'll still reduce it by 2. This reduces it by 2 if it gets reduced to a 1. This would reduce it by 2 as well. So I'm going to redraw 2 of these. Let's take our shot. Nope. 1 of them. So it reduced it by 2. And he does gain 1 lethality token because he drew 1 blank. So we're up to 4. I'm not as concerned about that at the moment, but okay. Let's get rid of all the blanks and add up this nonsense. Absolute nonsense. We did draw all 6 blanks for the yellow, and that's the best you could ask for. That means the witch, though, is going to get pummeled because there's no blanks left in here. 3, 6, 9, 11, 13, 14, 15, 16, 18, 20. 20 damage, and I think we said he's up to 5. 20 divided by 5 is 4 health loss. That could KO him. He's at 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. He's down to 1. We got lucky. We got so lucky, folks. It's not even funny how lucky we got. Alright, and now it's up to the witch. So the witch has 2 of them attacking her. And I'm going to play this card, but not for this nonsense. I don't need to be knocked back. I want instead just a 2 defense to be added. So she should have 2 here. And then this would make it 4. And that flows that card over. So she's up to 4 against this guy. And that's all I can do. So we know that the rats are going to pummel her here. So they're going to draw 4. And then they're going to draw 2 of those. So these are going to be bad. This might be blanks. I think there's 2 more blanks in there. So 1, 2, 3, 6, 9. Boy, the redraw for these would have been horrible. 3, 6, 9, 11, 13. Divided by 4. 4 times 3 is 12, so we just lost 3 health. Well, we survived. That's all I'll say. This rat lived to another day, and we paid a price, for sure. Because we went all in on killing this Broodmother. So now we got all these guys, and okay. Regen. Regen. And then this goes into his hand. Regen. This goes into his hand. Regen. Into his hand. The cur being down to 1 health can't destroy a dice unless it's the final blow. If it's the final blow, the boss does not attack back. So who's going first? I want to say we should have the witch go first. We have nothing on the board. The rat is near the witch, so she would attack the witch and then run away. And the runaway, I'm hoping, see, like the blade is way the bloody up here. I'm hoping it would run away this direction, so that way the blade can spend less points to get there. This is my issue. I'm so far away from the rat with most of my characters that I don't know if I'm going to kill it this round. And we do get to see the next card. But whatever dice we destroy, this card would not happen. And I'm just making sure after damage is drawn, you can gain 1 against that damage. I don't know if that would have helped him. It was too far ago. I just need to remember that. This one, when you draw crits, you get the battle flow. I gotta remember that. This one, after damage is drawn against you, gain 1 against it. I know we just took a damage. I was up to 7. Yeah, the 8 would not have mattered. It was like a 13 if I remember correctly. So, alright, let's get this done. The rat is closest to the witch, so we're going to have the witch go first, even though that's not the best character to be destroying dice. There is no ice, or no water, or there should be 1 water on the board. Yep, there's 1. And it is actually standing on it. Select an enemy within range 3, draw a white. If the card shows a number, the enemy loses 1. If it shows a crit, the enemy loses 3, and then remove the ice. Yeah, he's standing on it. Let's do it. So that's a 2. So 1, 2. We're going to draw a white, and she does have some redraws. So we're going to make sure I could roll. 5 of the blanks are already gone, so I'm going to draw a white. And it's a crit, so we do 3 damage to him. So I could do this and get the die down to a 1. I'm going to do that. We're going to reduce the die to a 1. And then I'm going to try to ice spike this thing. Or no, I need 2 to ice spike. I can't. So instead, see, these cards are not in my hand yet, but if I play this, I will get these in my hand. So I'm going to use her ability. We got to place a water on the board. It's not an ice, it's a water. We're going to go ahead and do there. I don't want it to be in the way if somebody's trying to move. So we need 2 of these to do an ice spike. That's the problem. I don't have 2. Since it was standing on it, I couldn't have used my special ability to add 2 more because it had to be unoccupied. That was my issue. I don't necessarily need these back. I mean, I guess I could have done this first and then spent 2 to get another ice out there, and then I would have had 2 ice. But here's the problem. I have to spend 1 to play this card. Then I'm down to 3, and then I'm spending 2 more. And now I'm down to 1. I don't have enough to play the ice spike then. So instead, I'm just going to play this at the 2 spot. And then I'm going to play it down here for an attack plus 1 damage, range 3. So That cost me 3 gems to do. And I'm just going to attack him. And she has a yellow, so we can draw yellow. And I'm going to draw just one of the whites. So the white is a crit, and the yellow is a 3. That's more than enough damage. And I would just roll this. So it's 5 damage. The rat has 2. So we're going to destroy one of these. I'm going to destroy this one. And so that causes all these cards to be out because 4 has been destroyed. So now these are the new cards. We already shuffled, but I'll shuffle again. So now the rat retaliates. Screech. She's going to poop some. There's only one left to poop. Move 3 to the northeast. This damages all Oathsworn and allies on the board. Okay. For each target, draw for each hex between them and the next closest target to them. I don't understand this. Okay, move 3 to the northeast. 1, 2, 3. This tree gets destroyed. 1, 2, 3. That did not move closer. For each target. I don't understand what for each target means. I guess, okay, all Oathsworn on the board, so that means everybody. Draw white for each hex between them and the next closest target to them. Draw separately for each target. For each card showing a 2, the target must either lose 2 combat tokens or lose 1 health, their choice. Oh man, we're going to get KO'd here. So the witch is 1, 2, 3 hexes away from the cur. So the witch has to draw 3 whites. That's, how many blanks do we have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All 6 blanks are gone. So let's pick somebody who has a lot of health and do them first. We're going to pick him. So he has 2 hexes between him and the next. So he's going to draw 2 of these. The last 2. And that's going to get all the blanks back on the board. So we drew 2 ones for a value of 2. I forgot what that means, but we'll go check in a second. Oh, none of them had a 2 on it, so he's fine. Actually, we should have made that for the cur or the witch. Alright, so now we're going to do the Warden, who's also 2 away, so he's going to get 2. 1, 2, he's fine, so nothing happens to him. We're going to do the cur, and he's going to draw all the 2s. We'll do the witch. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, there was a 2. So she's either going to lose a health or lose 2 combat tokens. Oh, wrong side. Shift 1. I'm okay with losing 2. I would rather lose 2 combat tokens. So we're going to lose the battle flow and the defense. Yeah. Alright, and then the one I've been waiting for. We've drawn phenomenal, so all the 2s are coming out now. He's 1, 2, 3 away from his next person. 1, 2. Oh, it happened. So the good news is we have lethality tokens we can get rid of. So he is going to lose 1 health or 2 tokens. And I think we're going to go ahead and lose... We're going to lose the battle flow and one of the lethalities. And that's it. That actually wasn't bad. Because you could lose the 2 tokens and you had to draw a 2, that wasn't too bad. Alright, whoever does the last hit kills the thing. No more attacks, nothing. So let's look at our witch. Can we squeeze out one more hit? We cannot. We're a million miles away with these two. The cur, I don't know if he could slice his way through. He is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spaces away. What can the cur do? It occurs to me that he's surrounded. He has a range 3 attack, but he needs to be able to move. He cannot move through targets. He cannot. So all these cards are gone. So all he has are these cards. Oh my gosh. Are we not going to be able to do this one last damage? Okay, so let's do a shank, which is going to cost 3. 1, 2, 3. And that's going to be a regular attack against a rat. And I'm going to draw 2. So that's 3 damage. That kills the rat. And of course we're killing the one that's going to open a path for us to walk. Then he needs to move 1, 2 spaces to be able to throw 3 away. Oh, he's going to run out of crystals. He's running out of crystals, folks. Yeah, 1, 2, and then he needs 3 to be able to throw those daggers. He doesn't have them. He's done. We never use these lethality tokens. Alright, so now we got... so the blade is way up here. He needs to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 spaces to get to the rat. He does have a move too. And he is Viper. You may move through an occupied hex. He does have a move too. He also has a cleaving slide. Move exactly 2 in a straight line. If you did not have to stop, you may then charge through 4. Attack once and apply to all targets. Gain a redraw. The problem is that's 4 crystals. So if I could somehow charge to him, that would be great, but I need to be like down here somewhere. Then I can charge 1, 2, 3, 4, right, or whatever. But I can't. I'm way over here. So the next thing is I got to get rid of all these rats or they're going to kill me. So what it means is I shouldn't take a turn with him. Let's look at the Warden now, who has like no cards that help him move. He does have an area of effect. Has nothing. No range, nothing. I'm not going to be able to kill this thing. I'm way over here. I can area effect those 3. It's going to cost me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 spaces. He's 10 spaces away as well. Wow. I am toast. The cur is dead. Is there any... The cur has 1 crystal left, so I could run away. Instead of moving those 2, I'm going to leave him there for a second. Because we may have to run south or do something. Like, if I can get these guys closer to these rats and then get him further away from those rats, then those rats won't target him. That's our next strategy. We got to do that. So we're going to start with the Warden. And we're going to start with this. So that's 4 gems. 1, 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Area of attack. 3 adjacent hexes. If you kill any enemies, gain a shield. And attack once and apply to all targets. I am pretty sure I'm going to gain a shield, but I could miss. I'm going to grab one because I'm being optimistic. And he has no bonus. So I'm just going to draw 2 cards because I think that's enough. All the blanks. Oh no, there's 1 blank left. Do I have any redraws? I do. I'm drawing 2 cards. That's all I need. And then I'm going to redraw this one. And there's my 2 damage. That's enough to kill all the rats. So I kill 3 of them. 1, 2, 3. Done. And then I'm going to move. If I move on here, I have to take an attack from this, which I may be willing to do. I do have 5 health. I only have 2 crystals left. Yeah, I'm going to do it. I gotta get these rats to come after me. So I'm going to use my 2 crystals, and I'm going to have to take an attack. Alright, and then we got the blade, who just needs to get somewhere. And also, because I knew I couldn't do this, remember I killed 1 rat, I'm going to kill the southernmost one. And then I'm going to move 1, 2, 3, like that. That's how I'm going to finish my turn. So that gets me away from everybody. Some of these might still attack him, but we're at least in better shape. And I also think I'm going to go to here. 1, 2, 3. So I'm 2 away from him. Alright, so then we got this guy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't think I can do any. This costs 4. So I was way too far away from being able to do that. I could have did this for 2. Yeah. So 1 crystal, 2 movement instead of 1. And then I could have moved exactly 2 and then did a charge through 4. Hold on. I was here. I could do exactly 2, and so if I move 2 for 1, then I can move exactly 2 and charge 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. And that would kill these 2. That also means I didn't have to desperately get over here, but that's fine. I'm going to do that instead. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we spent 1 for this, and then this one is 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to draw a yellow, and looks like all the whites are being reshuffled again. Yeah, I'll draw 2. I have no redraws. Come on. Okay, no redraws. I'm going to grab one as my consolation prize. And we just ended another freaking turn with 1 health on this thing, and we couldn't kill him. And we could have known what this thing was going to do, but now it's going to retreat. First, it's going to poop. 1, 2, I'm sorry, 1, 2, oh, like that, 3. Next, it's going to gain 1 for the rest of the encounter. So now she has 3 defense instead of 2. Mark this with the Treckerton. Then she's going to attack with the tail. Well, the tail's broken, but there's nothing for her to attack because she doesn't move. There's nobody next to her. Targets all adjacent enemies. Draw once for all damage. Move 4 to the nearest board edge. She will stop at any board edge. She's already at the board edge, so she doesn't even move. So her turn's over. So now we get swarmed. This is bad. So this, starting at the northwest one, these 2 stay. This is north. 1, 2 goes there, and actually this guy gets attacked right away. So let's deal with that. 2 reds and 3 yellow. Oh, I was supposed to... Is he defending himself? It's the Warden. He's got 2 cards in his hand. This has 0 defense, that has 1. He needs to defend himself against the rats. So he's not going to spend any. He has really nothing to spend. So he's going to take a beating here. So there's 1, 2. That was beautiful. And then 1, 2, 3. Only 3 damage? Oh my gosh. He took no damage. That was amazing. Okay. That was because of the toxic. Okay, now let's continue. These 3 rats are done. Remember, we're going northwest. So this is the northernmost rat. This is the northwesternmost. So let's do northernmost. 1, 2, 3 on him. And that's northwest. This is the northernmost. So 1, 2, 3. This is the northwest. 1, unfortunately, 1, 2, 3 on the cur. These stay. Then we just got these 2. This is the northernmost one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, this is the westernmost one. So the cur, although he was closest, so we're gonna do him. I mean, you could argue that it's the cur. You know, I don't want the cur to die, but and then this one here, 1, 2, 3, 4, absolutely. So the witch is gonna get 3 of them. This guy gets 3 of them. So let's start with the Warden. He's got 3 of them coming at him. He's not playing any of his defense. So they don't get the bonus anymore. So it's now just 1 yellow, 1 red. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 damage against the Warden. He has 4 defense. So 10 divided by 4 is 2 health. But I can make it 6 with both of these tokens, and I will. And that means it's only 1 health. Perfecto. Alright. So now let's do the cur. With the cur, we're going to do the guard thing. He's going to move 2 to give the cur his 4 defense. So this is a guard ability that goes there, which is going to cause all those cards to go back in his hand. And here's the 2 movement to stand next to the cur. So the cur can play a card if he wants, and he will. This will give him 2 more defense, and it's going to cause all these other cards to battle flow. which is the big advantage for him because all these cards are going to go into his hand. So now he has 4 defense because of the Warden, and then 2 more. That puts him at 6 defense against this guy, and there's only 1 rat up against him. We could have even made it 2 possibly. So here's 1 and 1. So 6 defense, no damage. The cur lives to see another day. And we know that the witch is being attacked, and I will try to defend myself with the witch, but I just want to see. So this is for the next attack. So had this rat been on him, he would have been fine. But now we got all 4 of these on the blade. I actually declared the witch, so we'll do the 3 on the witch right now. Let's see. Oh, she has no defense to play. Oh, she's in trouble. So she only has 2 defense right now. Okay, I'm glad that we got this. So there's 3 of them. That's 4 damage. 2, 4, 6, 7 damage. That's 3 health. That's going to KO the witch. There's nothing I can do about it. Oh. I'm angry. I only needed to do 1 hit. And I would have survived this. This doesn't do any defense. There was nothing, absolutely nothing I can do. I think there is somebody that has, if somebody else is going to take damage. But I believe all the cards have been played. Yeah, all the cards have been played. My people were exhausted. Those 3 rats KO'd the witch. Right here. That's what did me in. And there was no way to put these on somebody else. Oh, I am angry. Okay, witch is KO'd. Next up is the Warden, or the blade has 4. He can give himself 2 defense, and he will. So that puts him up to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 damage to him. I want to check one more thing with the witch. I think the redraw is only for her. I don't think she can play it on enemy cards. Can she? Maybe she can. That might save her. Let me check. Nope, it's only for Oathsworn might cards. Nope, doesn't work. She's KO'd. Just accept it, Jeff. Alright, 10 damage to him. We added 2 to 5, so he took 2 health. He's okay. Alright, we're into the next round. Regen 6. Get this card back. She's KO'd. Regen 6. Get these cards back. Regen 6. Get these cards back. And then we get to put out one of our allies. So where are they at? They're over here. So we can put out a Men-at-Arms. This guy is useless. Or the Rat Catcher. When you attack a creature with 4 or more legs, gain a redraw. Yep, we're going to put him out. He has a yellow die as well. His defense is only 2, but that's okay. So he's in the battle, and technically he gets 2 cubes. I don't know. Oh, here they are. And he's just any of these. And he pops at the edge of the map, and we're going to put him right here. And we're going to start the game with him, and we're going to kill the Broodmother. So he's going to attack with a yellow plus whatever. So I'm going to do a yellow and 2 whites. And he misses. And because he missed, we're going to give him a redraw token. So now he's going to attack again with a yellow and 2 whites. That's 3 damage. That's enough to kill the rat. Rat only needed 1 hit. So bam, the rat died. We win. Freaking KO'd by this stupid rat. Okay. So that was exhausting. Epilogue.
With the screeching finally silenced, the mass of rotted fur lies still. Taking no chances, you hack off the Broodmother's head and burn the body. The deepwood may snuff out the flames, but it will at least consume this corruption. In the den, you find several items of value. When you arrive back at Bastone, you are met by a squad of guards. "A Lord Davenish heard of your foray into the deepwood. Have you found the beast?" says the sergeant. You raise the severed head of the Broodmother to the guard's face. The men recoil. Well done. I've been instructed to give you this iron in payment, and to tell you the Lord Davenish would meet you tomorrow morning. He has paid for your lodgings at the Broken Oak Inn during your stay. I would suggest retiring there now, as his lordship will not suffer tardiness tomorrow. You hand the guard the head and take the iron.
Okay, so we get 2 iron each, and we're going to tally level loot and losses. Okay, so the cool thing is, all that's in the encounter book. I can't show it to you, but of course it's easy to read. And if you watch the other playthroughs, we talked about this a lot. So the end phase button, by the way, causes the cards to, get drawn or whatever. That's the reason why you have this mechanic here. We are ending the encounter. But let's make sure we get the 8 iron first. So here's 5, 6, 7, 8. I love the bowl. Really cool concept. So we're going to hit end encounter. And you'll notice all the stuff got cleaned up, except for the 2 trees that we took off the map. So I believe those go here. You know what? Delete. So we got our blade, this giant rat. We're going to delete the cur, the warden, the witch, and then of course our man-at-arm is going to go back over here. So when you hit end encounter, it not only cleaned everything up, which was awesome. These get shuffled back in. Same with ours. As much as I think this is time consuming, this is still quicker than if I had the physical copy in front of me. The shuffling right there, that just saved me so much time. So the cool thing that it did is it puts out the 2 common items and unique items. So chapter 2 common items get put out and the unique item gets put out. I don't know if they shuffle, so I always do that. And then also you can hit the reset button here and it resets this. And we can also move this to story 2. And as soon as I hit that button, then this changes and so does this. Okay, but we're getting ahead of ourselves there. First thing we do is we took our iron. And then we move up to level 1, which all characters get extra ability cards. So what does that mean? That just means right here you can see there's level 2 here. So he's going to get these 2 cards. It actually creates more analysis paralysis than good, because now you still can only take 7 cards into battle. So that means you got to pick which two cards are going to sit out. Are you going to sit out your new cards you just got or cards you already have? I actually think there's some cards I already have with some of these characters that are very meh or situational. And so it might not be that hard to make the decision. But like this one looks like a really cool card, except it's thrown. See the word thrown? And actually, those daggers, the thrown daggers, does not have the word thrown. So I'm glad I saw an example of the word thrown, because this means your weapon really does fall on the ground and you have to go pick it up. So that thing with the cur does not fall on the ground. That's good to know. Okay. So, anyways, I may not like this one because throwing your weapon sucks. But that is what happens. And all four characters unlock new cards. The witch is the only one that has like extra cards. It's usually just two cards. I think, yeah, there's just two cards. The witch might have four because it's two fire and two ice or whatever. Okay, then we replace the item deck. We're going to draw three common items from the item deck. And then we're going to gain two unique items. And then everybody has to destroy an item because of wear and tear. And because we were unconscious, the witch has to destroy two items. And then she's going to gain an injury. And that's it. Also, because we got KO'd, which sucks, we add 1 to the points here. This is bad. You don't want to score points here. And then if somebody dies, you check these boxes. That shows that somebody died. And see, there's an error in script because I checked something that probably is not on the board. I'm really glad I didn't check something we already had because I think he wrote a script to clean up all the pieces. We do gain one extra unique item. All right, so I don't know what the deal button does, but we're going to deal 3 of these. 1, 2, 3. All right, and then we're going to deal 3 of these because we get 1 extra. 1, 2, 3. And we get to look at these. So right here, this is perfect for the witch. We get a walking stick that's better than what we had. This is good for the witch as well because it's a cloth armor. We also get a staff, which is good for the witch. I did not mean to do that. Let's get that out of there. So we actually got 3 items for the witch. This one can be sold for 1 iron. These 2 cannot be sold because you get half value, and see the 1 at the bottom? Half of 1 is 0. I always round down. This is a fabulous 2-handed weapon for the blade. And we got a nice dagger. And we got a leather armor. Okay, so leather armor and dagger are both going to the cur. So that's shift 3, I believe. So we come over here, and this rawhide is clearly better. Well, it's not better armor, but it's got a special ability. After losing any health, the enemy loses 1. So that's something. And then understand that he has to destroy one of his items. So he's going to destroy this, and then of course he gets to replace it with that. He gets the battle flow card when he criticals, but see, now that gave him a yellow. So these 2 cards are still actually ours, because he only needed to destroy 1 item. And so we can put these... what we do is I'm disoriented, so forgive me. They go over here in the company backpack. Now we could sell them, and when you destroy an item, it has to be something that you had equipped. So one of the things we could do is we could keep this leather armor equipped for 1 more turn, and then destroy it and replace it with the unique one that we have now. Instead of giving him both of these items right away. So we could keep the other leather armor, and then at the end of chapter 2, we can destroy that and then replace it with the rawhide. I'm not a fan. These items that are level 1, you can't even sell them. So they're just destroyable stuff. Right now, I would say we're going into the next battle with a bone knife. We're going to probably want to destroy that. I could get another shiv, and if I do so, I would have 2 yellow cubes, which is nice because then I get to put 2 yellow cubes on my attack. So I'm going to come over here and just grab a yellow cube. Or no, that's a die. Where's the yellow cubes? I know they're here somewhere. See, that's a die. So what the heck is that? That's a mic cube. Yeah. How did I... See, I'm drawing dice out of the mic cube. Oh, that's a really weird feature of his. I know what he's doing. So this is a mic cube that belongs to the cur. So when it's his turn to roll dice, he can just say, hey, I'm going to roll a yellow cube and just pull it right out of there. That's pretty cool. Then you could just put 3 white cubes here and then, do that or whatever. That's not how we were playing, but that's a cool concept. Okay, so he gets a yellow cube is the big thing. The witch gets showered with all kinds of cash and prizes, so she has to destroy 2 things. So she only had 2 things equipped. So both of these get destroyed, and I think we can just delete them. And in fact, one of these was destroyed, right? Yeah, so that's gone too. We only have 1 thing. So we can just delete it. Okay, we took care of the cur, we took care of the witch. He loses an item. I would like to upgrade his sword so we can have a power cube. So we're going to go ahead and delete his sword. And then for the blade, we're going to delete his sword because he's got a 2-handed sword. It does give him a yellow, but this halberd is pretty sweet. We had it with our warbear last time. So we're going to give him the halberd. And so now this yellow die goes away, but it's replaced by a red one. Bum, bum, bum. And then for the witch, we now have this rat armor, which, by the way, after damage is drawn, you can reduce it by 2. And that would have saved her if we would have had that for that last battle. And then we got a choice. We can give her 2 yellow cubes, and then it gives her the range bonus, or we can do this one. During an attack, redraw a white blank, and she gets a red cube. They're both good. I don't even know what to say. We could theoretically, start with this one, and then that's what she destroys next round, and then she can fall into this one. So what's better, having a red cube or 2 yellows? The red cube could be better. I mean, the yellows have 3s on them. The red also has 3s and I think 4s. Four and 3 and 2. Whereas 2 yellows is theoretically, assuming you don't draw blanks, 2 yellows could be better, but with the 1s and the blanks, I think on average, it's probably worse. And this one can be sold, this one can't. So I think that's going to settle the deal. We're going to give her this. So she also... I screwed up again. She gets a red cube. I'm just going to delete the thing. There. The good news is they go back up to 6 health. So this goes into our backpack. Since we're doing story mode, I'm going to leave the backpack items out because we, can sell. Although this one's worthless. We may end up just destroying this. And that's everything. So right now, we need... The Warden needs his weapon. So we have to go to the market for him. Everybody else at least has stuff. Not saying that they couldn't benefit from better stuff, but they at least have stuff. And then when you go into here, like I said, you could always look. So like this is the new armor that you can get. As you can see, it's the same. It's same 3 defense as the other heavy armor, but it just has slightly different bonuses. And then like that is a one-handed pickaxe, clearly better than the short sword because it has a yellow cube. And then you get to draw 2 additional cards if you crit. Not always going to happen, but it's definitely nice. And that does apply to the Warden because the Warden is a chain, and you can see the little chain symbol showing up right there. We can also get a short spear that just always has +2 damage. You can throw it, but then the Warden would have to go fetch it after he throws it. And then, of course, the shield, I did contemplate getting rid of the shield. This one is slightly better, but I wanted to get a cube. So we got a flail as well. Before drawing damage for your first attack, you get to do a red die instead. So if you attack more than once, then you don't get to do the red die anymore, but that's also very good. It's a one-handed weapon. All those work very well with the shield. And then the unique items are out, and I always like to search and see what we missed. That would have been a really nice dagger. When you critical, draw red instead of the normal critical card. So basically, your criticals are red. Oh, and right there. Yeah, we drew that in the last game. This would have been very nice for the Warden. That's okay. We'll just go buy a card. So then the witch has to draw an injury. And these can be bad or in the middle. And 5 of these are these curative cards that we purchased. If we draw a curative card, then we're golden. Nothing bad is going to happen to us. But it's only 5 out of the 20. Now we got super lucky in our last game. I don't expect to get lucky twice, but let's find out. And we did not. Deep Gash. If you do not have a 2 ability card in your hand, lose 1 health. Full characters. This and all other injury cards must be played on your first turn of each round, even if it has no effect. So we have to play it, and it's going to go into the 3 spot. The good news is it doesn't take any gems, but all it's saying is if we don't have a 2 ability card in our hand, we lose a health. Which, that's bad. Some of them are like just annoying. That one is more than annoying. Every time we play it, we could potentially lose a health if we don't have a 2 in our hand. So it means like this ice spike, we just got to keep it in our hand at all times. That could be challenging because of the demands of the game, we might be spending our stuff on other things. Alright, that is it. We got our injury. How do you get rid of injuries, you ask? Well, I don't know. There's this medical ability you can get that can remove injury, and beyond that, I don't know what else. And you don't get that until you finish Chapter 2. You get to take one of these skills. And right now, I'm very torn on which one's the best skill to take first. Looting 1 extra common per chapter, it's more iron, because you could sell it, and it's more loot to replace the things that get broken. This one, get 2 curatives every time you purchase one, which, we could have not gotten an injury if we drew a curative card. This one, when you start an encounter, sometimes you lose hit points, like before the encounter starts. This allows one of the Oathsworn to get their hit point back. I'm not so keen on the 20 items because we're not near the limit. When you draw 2 injuries, pick one, discard the other. This just helps you improve your chances of getting a curative. The runner, when you go to the banksmith or apothecary, you don't have to pay for the runner. That runner costs 1 iron per chapter. So now that we're on chapter 2, it's going to cost 2. The field medic, this is the one. You can pay 2 if you're in chapter 2 to archive the injury. And archive means it's out of the game. It's not back in the deck. So that's pretty cool. And then the gain an extra ration at the start of every journey. We're not using rations yet, but after chapter 2 we will. Starting chapter 3 we'll start using rations. And they look like they're important. So, yeah, which one do you take first? It's hard to know. I would say the ration and the common item one is most powerful if you take it early. The field medic, I am told through the chat forum, there is a way to heal, but it's not predictable, and it might be because you're drawing events, right? And it just could be an event that comes up. But anyways, that takes you to the end of the encounter. We're ready to start story 2. And the way you do that is you just press this button. And then you can see chapter 2 came up here. Everything reset down here. And the city events, of course, stayed the way they are. And we're ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead and save this game. Oathsworn YouTube chapter 2, and then I always make sure it actually shows up, because I've had games where I saved it and then it's not there when I come back. Alright, so I'm gonna exit out and we're gonna end it here. Thanks for watching. Stay awesome. I apologize to those of you who already saw chapter 1 from the other playthrough, but I don't know. I'm having fun. This is what I do. I play, get restart. Anyways, it's a good game. I actually like this tabletop simulator a lot. I cannot stress enough the fetching of these cards and putting them away, all that stuff. It really is cumbersome. But anyways, thanks for watching. Stay awesome.